Live, this is Good Morning Texas.
Hello. Good morning, Texas. I'm Paige McCoy-Smith. Thanks for joining us this morning. We have got such a fun show for you today. I'm really excited about our guests. They're really special. First of all, we're going to be introducing you to this fantastic artist who goes by Picassbro. And what he does is he uses his art to celebrate joy. He went through some challenging things that I think many of us can relate to and has been able to kind of express himself through his artwork. You're not going to want to miss that. Plus, find out the top movie picks of the month and what you can check out in the theaters and on streaming. And we're going to be stepping into the GMT kitchen to cook up some tasty, fulfilling bowl with packing bowls. So, now, I'm going to talk about the obvious, the suit, okay? So my colleagues at work, there's been some hot sports opinions about it. It's a little much. It's a little early. Marielle, what do you think?
Early?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot for 9 a.m.
Oh, you're talking about early in the day. I thought you meant early in the season.
No. Early in the day, early morning to kind of be like, bam!
Well, who gets dressed at noon, though? Like,
That's true.
Right?
Yeah, and you've been up since, 3. So, yeah, it's like, close to 4 p.m. right now. That's a long time.
It's fine.
All right, so would you wear this?
I would absolutely wear that.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, good to know.
And it would be really a good week to wear it because our weather is literally all over the place. We were starting the week off with temperatures in the 30s, wind chills in the 20s. And now I'm talking about record heat. Yeah, heat. Highs in the 90s before the weekend. I'm going to take you out to the University of North Texas this morning. Temperature right now of 56 degrees, and we are looking at a beautiful blue sky overhead. Now, 56, this is similar to the high temperatures on Monday. So again, drastic difference between the beginning of the week and now. 56 is what it actually feels like out because we're not dealing with a wind chill. The last several days we were dealing with the wind chill at this point in the day. Not the case this time around, happy to report. Our temperature today does make it to about 74 degrees around noon. That was the high yesterday. That's how you know it's going to be noticeably warmer today. We make it to 87 degrees around 4 in the afternoon, winds out of the southwest at about 5 to 15. And today, we make it to 87 in McKinney, 86 in Denton, 88 in Fort Worth, 86 in Decatur. You're looking at a few 90 degrees, though, across areas of Graham, Albany, areas west of DFW. Air is drier there, and technically, whenever the air is drier, it tends to warm up a little bit faster, so we're looking at warmer weather in that sense. But it only goes up from here, Paige. We're talking high temperatures in the 90s Friday. Saturday, Sunday, we haven't had 90s since October. And get this, we could be dealing with record heat on Friday and Saturday and Sunday as our high reaches 97 degrees.
Wow.
Talk about our first weekend of spring, feeling like summer.
I'm telling you, it's going to be hot. Yes, and so the suit may be pretty appropriate. By the way, you can go to our Instagram a little bit later, kind of weigh in. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And speaking of colors, we're going to be talking about an artist. Danielle Torres hadn't picked up a paintbrush since high school. Then came a major life hurdle that would make him circle back again to his first love, which was art. Today, you might know him as Picassbro, and he joins me to open up about his story and where you can see his art for yourself in this weekend. Hey, Daniel, how are you?
Thank you so much for having me on.
I'm really happy to have you here because I think a lot of people are going to relate to what you have gone through. So how did this whole painting begin?
I injured myself during COVID working, and I tore up my whole left side of my body. I have nerve damage. And so while I was on disability, I couldn't move, couldn't really sit that long, couldn't stand, could really just lay down. So something kept telling me to start painting again. And so I bought paints after weeks of just kind of rejecting that voice. And I finally said, okay. And I just started painting and it came alive. And I did it for me, a hobby. I was suffering from severe depression. Major depression, when your body doesn't work for you, that kind of happens. And I did it as a hobby. Friends saw it laying in my bedroom, in my living room, and they were like, hey, you should post these online. And I was vulnerable. I didn't want to do it, but I did. And then people were like, hey, I want to buy it. So it just kind of evolved on its own.
You know, I have to commend you that you stopped and you listened to that voice, because it's really easy for us to ignore that. And we also, there's a lot of shame associated with mental health, and it's difficult for us to kind of admit that we're struggling. But the reality is most of us are. And that you not only took a chance by picking up the paintbrush, but you were able to even address those vulnerabilities and share them with the world. People appreciate it. So your artwork definitely feels very emotional. And I'm curious about how you're able to express your mental state within these images.
Yes, the fun ones about those two right there that you see, those are actually made for a rapper musician friend of mine. He really liked the one that's colorful. That one was kind of chaotic but calm with the face. Now, if you're in production, you're a musician, you'll recognize right here the sound waves. That glows in the dark, and that glows in the black light, and that just explodes.
Wow.
So, yeah, if you're used to doing production, you'll see that and you'll know exactly what it is.
Your use of color definitely does evoke emotion. I can see that it's apparent. I wish we had a black light so we could see what it looks like glowing, but the color is very evident here. When did you realize that people were really connecting with your art?
When my friends would come over and they would see it and they would kind of go through it and look at it, and they were like, dude, I want this, or post this online, or, you know, and I just didn't want to. So people, you know, the vulnerability, you put yourself out there, and it can be hurt. Negative comments can hurt. So when people kept telling me, post this, let people see this. This is good stuff. Then I kind of broke down and I said, okay, I'll give it a try then.
Yeah, because people do resonate. They resonate with honesty. They resonate with authenticity. And these beautiful pictures that you've painted here, you can see how your colors have been manifested through your emotions. And I'm so proud of you that you did take this big step. And now you've got something even bigger that's happening. You are preparing for your very first exhibition.
Yes.
So let's talk about what makes this event particularly unique.
I'm gonna try to make this event an outdoor, it's on the outdoor patio. It's at Barfly, and they have this tremendous outdoor patio.
I know
And
Barfly.
You know Barfly.
It is a great destination. I love it.
It is. It won like Best Dive Bar 2024 D Magazine. Tyler there, he's a great guy. He's allowing me to pretty much set up outside the patio, and it's gonna be like while you're having your adult beverage and having your meal, you're sitting inside the showroom, the display. You're sitting inside the actual art show, and it's outside. Most art shows aren't really outside because weather, people are worried about that. So I think it's unique in that way. We'll have some music going. My cousin Marcus from Certified Barbecue, he's going to be making some barbecue for everybody.
The weather sounds like there's not going to be a lot of rain, so that's going to be great. It sounds like a perfect setting.
Apparently record highs.
Record highs, you know, and when the sun starts to come down, it's going to cool off. Okay, we've got something really exciting for our GMT viewers, because we are going to be revealing one of your pieces. This is going to be the first time that it's ever been revealed publicly, so let's take a look.
And I made this, I'll tell you this right now, I made this for you.
You what?
Yeah. You're so bubbly, you're so upbeat, you're so energetic. I love your vibe. So I figured this would be something that you would enjoy.
That really means a lot to me.
It's like a...
Thank you.
It's like looking through a window, but it's just got your vibe. It's got your personality. It's just got you.
And it matches my suit. Who'd have thought? That really touches me. I did not expect this.
Yes, that's for you.
Thank you.
You're wonderful.
Thank you very, very, very much. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
All right. So what's next for you, and where can we find out information about the exhibition?
Okay, so Barfly this Sunday at 3:30. Go on for a few hours. So come down to Barfly. We're gonna have a great time. Again, thanks to Tyler for having us on and letting us do this. And come get some barbecue. So it'll be a really fun event. And we're looking forward to a lot of people coming out and sharing some art.
Thank you. Okay, now I've got to deal with this. I appreciate it, Daniel.
I didn't mean to.
That's all right. You did a fantastic job, and I'm truly touched and honored. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Good luck to you. All right, switching gears. Amy Lineker almost worked herself to exhaustion. Yeah, she suffered 100 stress-induced panic attacks in just 3 months, and that led to medical leave and a life-changing realization. Today, she helps companies replace stress with joy in the workplace, and her latest book is called Cheers to Monday, the surprisingly simple method to lead and live with less stress and more joy. And today she joins me ahead of our International Day of Happiness to share how you can add joy into your workday. Hi, Amy.
Hi, it's so good to see you.
It is wonderful to see you. Thank you for joining us. You know, I think many people find themselves in the same place that you were in, working around the clock. That's a lot of stress. How were you able to change?
I wish I could say that I had an epiphany to do something different, but it was really my body shutting down. I had burned out to the point where I needed to go on medical leave, and that was my aha moment that I needed to do something different. A workday should not be our entire day.
Wow. Sometimes we do have to kind of hit the rock bottom before we can really, it can be revealed to us that a major change has to happen. And so now companies are coming to you to help them lead with less stress and more joy. What do you find stresses people out most at work?
In our latest study, we found the number one driver, and I don't think this will surprise you or anybody listening, the number one driver of stress was an overwhelming workload. And it was also the number one barrier to joy. And so we've got to figure out, how do we have workloads that are sustainable and allow people to not only be successful at work, but also to feel successful in their lives.
Wow, that's fantastic. And it's good news that there's hope and that you've also broken it down in bite-sized pieces. You say that there's 5 different types of stress. Can you list some of those for me?
Absolutely. And there's a big myth that work stress is just one type, but just like you said, there are 5. And when we understand all 5, then we can do something about them. So type number 1 is schedule, just not enough time to do what you need to do. The second is sudden, when something happens out of the ordinary. Third is social. It's the stress of people. Fourth is suspense, when you're waiting for information. And then 5th is system, when the very workplace that you're in causes you stress.
I think that's excellent that you have outlined that so successfully. And I could see, thinking about my own life, how each of those have impacted me in different types. And you're right, they all are, you know, they are what the impetus is that causes real stress and can cause a lot of problems with your mental and your physical health. So no matter what type of stress we are dealing with, you say that there are things to bring joy to our workday. What is the first one?
And that's the good news, that joy is there, and the two can happen at the exact same time. So the number one driver of joy that we found in our research was when there's meaning, when you've got meaning and purpose in what you do. That was the number one key driver of joy at work.
All right, that's a big one, is finding that meaning. What is the second one?
The second is when you've got mattering in your relationships, when the people that you work with value you, when you feel appreciated, when you feel that you are of value there, not just because of what you do, but simply because of who you are. So mattering in your relationships.
You said mattering, that's the term that you used?
It is mattering, that I matter. Mm-hmm.
That I matter. I think that's so important. Yes, because sometimes we can feel lost or overlooked or not heard. So the mattering component, I think, would be a wonderful way to relieve that stress. And what about third?
The third one, this is the one that surprised me. I assumed that numbers 1 and 2 would be in the data, but when the third one showed up, it surprised me. The third one is momentum. When you've got momentum and progress and you feel like you're moving forward in what you're doing.
All right, having that momentum, having those goals to set, that can propel you forward. It can give you a reason to get up in the morning, having the momentum to address the day. Those are excellent tips. And of course, you've got your book. It's called Cheers to Monday, which I love. And then the subtext is the surprisingly simple method to lead and live with less stress and more joy. Can you tell us a little bit more about what's in the pages of your book?
Yes, Cheers to Monday is a joyful rebellion against stress and burnout. The way that we're working isn't working. And so this is meant to spark conversations with leaders and teams and organizations about how can we work together to redesign work so that it works for everybody.
Those are great tips. It's a book I think everybody should have and be able to read and know that we're not alone in this. You went through your own experience. You've expressed it in your pages. This seems to be the theme of the show. Being able to express yourself and reach out and get help is so vital. So when does your book come out and where can people find you?
It comes out on Tuesday, and it's available right now everywhere books are sold. And if I can say, Paige, as someone who studies joy for a living, your outfit could not be any better.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Once again, to our viewers, check out our Instagram. It's at WFAA-GMT. We'd love to get your comments, and you have brought joy to my life. Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate it. Okay, Louisville High School students learning about business were given a tasty assignment that taught them to make the dough. Quite literally. WFAA's Sean Gicke shows us how these high schoolers turn pizza into profit.
We're just rocking and rolling.
Nicole Francois' incubator class here at Louisville High School is all business.
There are adults in the room. People, come say hello.
By the end of the year, students will be full-fledged entrepreneurs, owning and operating their own small business.
That's the amazing part of this class.
But to get a taste of that reality, Nicole says they must first get a taste of pizza.
Like, this is as real as it's gonna get.
It is so good.
Sweet Jesus, that's how good it is.
If you have any questions for me, of course, I'm happy to answer them.
Working with Greg Tierney, owner of Motor City Pizza, the students were divided into 2 teams. Each created its own pizza. One, called Larry Monster.
It's a barbecue chicken pizza with jalapenos and onions.
The other, Sweet Jesus.
Caramelized carne asada on top. I saw that and I'm like, you know what? That's a good idea.
They spent time in the classroom figuring out costs, profit margins, and a marketing strategy.
How to just gain and attract people to come try the pizza.
And then Greg put the pizzas on his menu.
It really felt real at that moment.
Over the course of 2 weeks, whichever team turns the greatest profit wins.
You get to see the work behind the scenes and how a business really operates on a spreadsheets.
I feel like we just learned how to experience the business in real world time.
It became the perfect example.
Nicole says this kind of knowledge is already paying dividends.
I have a kid that's selling pies and he's out earning me. You know, I mean, that's not hard to do, but...
That's why, she says, this pizza challenge was never about who wins or loses. It's about an experience that will serve the kids far beyond high school. Although, if you ask them, victory would be pretty fulfilling.
Even better than the pizza itself, because it'll be a good comeback.
I have hope because of these kids. I always have.
Pizza, a good life lesson. Any way you slice it. In Louisville, I'm Sean Gicke.
Sean Gicke and his photographer Martin DePorto got the chance to taste test their Larry Monster and their Sweet Jesus pizza. So you can check out their reviews on Motor City's Instagram page. All right, if you've had one too many pizza lunches and are looking for a healthier alternative, how about a healthy bowl? We meet the chefs behind Packin' Bowls a little later on the show. And next on today's show, we spring into new movies coming to theaters this weekend, including one of the most talked about films, Project Hail Mary. Keep it here. We're back in 2. See you soon. Okay, tomorrow's the first day of spring, and it's going to feel like summer. A cool theater will be a good place to be this weekend, and there are lots of new movies from thrillers to animated family films. So this chick flicks Susan Stevens joins me with her top picks. Hello, my friend.
Hi.
You know, I really do, I list the movies based upon your recommendations because I have the same, you and I have the same vibe. Whatever you recommend, I'm always going to go see. I'm really curious about what you've got in store today. So let's start with the movie that everybody's talking about called Project Hail Mary, and that's starring Ryan Gosling. Tell me more about that.
Yes, so this is based on the best-selling novel by Andy Weir. It's the second film adaptation of one of his books. The first one was The Martian, which I absolutely loved.
No good.
This is about Ryan Gosling plays Ryland Grace, a science teacher who's woken up in a spaceship light years away from Earth with no memory. As he starts to remember, he realizes his mission is to stop a mysterious substance from killing the sun. And a friendship, an unexpected friendship with an alien life form may be the key to saving the world. And I do have to warn you, if you haven't read the book and if you didn't watch the trailer, because I try to avoid them, that friendship may come off a little corny at first. It is, you know, if you're not prepared for it. However, it is very sweet and it's really
Does the
rewarding.
alien look like an alien, or how are they able to portray the alien?
You'll see it. I mean, he calls himself Rocky, or he names him Rocky because he looks like a rock.
Okay.
But it's very like E.T. meets Interstellar, that kind of vibe. But I mean, I will say also the 2-hour and 36-minute runtime might drag a little bit, and the scientific language can go over your head. However, put all that aside, it is still visually stunning, and the main source of fuel here is Ryan Gosling. His quirky character just brings life and laughs to this otherwise dark tale, because it is really like sad to think about, but it is just, it's beautiful.
He's a transformative actor.
Oh, yeah,
he
he's
really
so
can
great.
absorb himself into the
Yeah.
roles that he plays. It's impressive. All right, so next, another great one for the kiddos. Let's talk about Pout Pout Fish.
Yes, so this is based on the best-selling children's books by Deborah Dyson. This is a really cute one. It's about a fish who's always carrying a frown on his face because he has kind of avoided strangers and isolated himself from others until he meets a sea dragon named Pip, who he accidentally destroys her home, and because he feels guilty, agrees to help find a mythical fish named Shimmer to help. She grants wishes, so maybe she can help her find a new home.
This kind of reminds me of our generation's Finding Nemo.
Yeah, there's definitely
a
a Finding Nemo vibe to it.
Yeah.
It is just as like beautiful and colorful as that, and it just has a really great message about self-acceptance. I mean, sometimes we can trap ourselves in these negative labels like Mr. Fish, and feel like, oh, no one's going to like us because we do have this pout on our face, so I'm just going to be miserable to the world. But it just takes one person to kind of express that kindness to you, to see the best in yourself, and then that kindness can kind of ripple throughout a whole community.
That has been the theme of the show today.
Yeah,
it really has been. Okay, so for all of the horror film fans out here, not me.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's the only one you're not going to care for.
Not me.
Yeah.
You have Undertone. Is that right? Is that the name of the movie?
Yeah, there's Undertone. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
well, let me hear it from you because I'm not going to be seeing it.
No, and it's funny because it's being called the scariest movie you'll ever hear, which I agree.
That you'll ever hear.
Because, well, it's about a popular podcast host who receives mysterious audio files that were sent to her and her co-host, and she's haunted by them. And essentially, I guess what this film does is really test your senses, because you are only ever seeing her, the main character, played by Nina Kiri, and her mother on screen. You never see any other character or the actions that are actually like being talked about and played out. That is left up to your imagination. And because of that, it's just really
Sounds
creative.
like Alfred Hitchcock kind of esque, that it's, you don't see the gore. That's the brilliance of a Hitchcock. But you can definitely still sense the fear. You don't have to see all the blood and guts to have that reaction.
And that's why it's so impressive. Very creative, effective horror. Yeah, if you are a horror fan, definitely watch this one.
Okay, all right, let's talk about Tow. Now, that is T-O-W, I should say.
Yes.
Now, that is also based on a true story, so tell me more about that.
It is. It's based on the true story of Amanda Ogle, a woman who was living in her Toyota Camry on the streets of Seattle until one day her car is stolen and impounded, and she is, the impound lot, even though her car was stolen, is trying to make her pay hundreds of dollars that she doesn't have to get it back.
Is she living out of her car?
Yeah, she's living out of her car. So she ends up being forced into this relentless legal battle against an unsympathetic system. And it's just, you know, the film stars Rose Byrne, who does incredible here. There's also Octavia Spencer, Demi Lovato, a really great cast. But Rose Byrne here is the one who just shines. She does a great job of playing this kind of flawed, but determined woman to just fight for what's right, because she's just been.
And talk about an unlikely heroine. I mean, she had no business to fight the system given her predicament.
Yeah.
And to be able to make a difference and ultimately have a movie made in, with that same vein, it's got to be exciting.
Yeah, it's a frustrating but inspiring tale, and I hope it does a change in what is a flawed system.
All right, what can we look forward to next month?
I'm really looking forward to Zendaya and Robert Pattinson's new film, Drama. I can't wait for that. Yeah, they're not giving much away on that one, so I'm really excited.
All right, well, it's always so much fun to have you in the studio. Thank you so much for coming again.
Thank you.
Happy movie watching.
Yeah.
It's a good weekend for it. All right, speaking of weather, Marielle, it's going to feel a lot like summer for the first weekend of spring. What is that about?
This ridge of high pressure, we call it the heat dome, centered right over Southern California right now, moving right over areas of the south. So we'll see a rise in temperatures. I'll show you what I mean, though, when GMT comes back.
Live, this is Good Morning Texas.
Welcome back to GMT. I am here with meteorologist Marielle Rees. Why are you so tall?
You're just gonna air out all my secrets.
You're so tall.
I stand on a box page.
Okay,
look.
okay,
this
that's
is-
better.
And I'm wearing heels right
Yeah,
now.
okay. I was going to say, did you like grow like 6 inches overnight?
I would like to just say yes, but no. You know, this set was built for tall men. So the lighting,
Yes.
the lighting is
You're
here.
right.
Look at how it changes.
You're so right. I need to come back there and stand up tall.
Yeah,
I need
that's
one
why
of those
I'm on a box,
boxes.
because this was built for taller people, not the little person on the weather team.
I like you just the way you are. Let's find out what's happening outside, honey. It's getting hot out there.
It is. Those temperatures are really cranking up, Paige. We're talking high temperature of 87 degrees on Thursday, 93 degrees on Friday, 96 on Saturday, 97 on Sunday. Today, we are looking at temperatures that are 17 degrees warmer than normal. That's pretty significant, but it's going to get hotter. We're looking at a high of 93 on Friday. That would break a record. The record is 92. On Saturday, we don't break a record simply because the record is 100, but we do make it to 96 degrees. This is 25 degrees warmer than normal. And on Sunday, 97 degrees. It's the hottest temperature that I have on the 14-day forecast. And this is going to shatter the previous record of 93 for that day. That's about 26 degrees warmer than normal. A front does come in. It helps drop the high to 80 degrees on Monday. That's still about 9 or 10 degrees warmer than normal, 85 on Tuesday. And this is all happening, again, because of the heat dome. I talked about this before we went to break, but we are looking at this providing for heat alerts across areas of Southern California. This is bringing a triple-digit heat day to Phoenix, not just today, but for the next couple of days. And look at how it expands. It'll eventually include all of Texas, and that's why we stay above normal with our temperatures through really next week. Now, we do have the spring equinox happening tomorrow, so the first official start of spring, the first official weekend of spring, but it'll feel more like summer this weekend with morning lows in the 60s. Next week, we're starting off on a warm note as well. We could even see a 90-degree day next Wednesday. We do look like we cool off just a tad as we head towards late next week, but as of now, it looks rain-free, Paige, until the end of the month.
You know, better because even though spring has sprung in North Texas, it's going to start heating up, as you heard from Marielle. So many of us know how Texas really does feel the heat. So in case we see an early summer and it's looking that way, it may be a good time to check in on your home maintenance. Here to tell us how to get our AC ready for the temperatures ahead is On-Time Experts General Manager Matt Rudisill. Welcome back. Happy to have you in the studio.
Great to be here, Paige.
All right, let's talk about this. Man, I mean, it's getting hot up there. We're talking record-breaking temperatures. Why do we need regular maintenance done on our AC and also our heaters?
I think it's as simple as peace of mind.
Yeah.
You know, it's like these systems in North Texas, they run so much, whether it's through the heat or whether it's through our cold winters, which we really didn't get much of that this year. But they run so much that they just gunk up with dirt. And what happens is they end up breaking down on you.
You know, we use our systems as much as we use our vehicles.
Yeah.
And we, of course, take them in for a tune-up.
Yes.
We're watching them and maintaining them. We've got to do the same thing for our AC and our heaters. So can you tell me what ACs look like if they haven't been cleaned?
I think we got some pictures that are going to pull up here in a minute. I mean, there it is.
Oh.
They're just gunked, right? Just covered.
Wow.
That's the outdoor unit, right? And so that's what's operating when your AC's operating, right? That's what's working. And that is just clogged up. So you've got no airflow going through there. It's going to cause components like your compressor, the heart of the system, to work too hard. They can overheat.
And
those
it also
can
doesn't
fail.
look healthy
No,
either,
no,
because
no,
the
no.
air that's coming in is going through that system.
Well, kinda, yeah. You're not going to breathe that, but it's going to clog up the works.
Right.
It's going to make your electricity bill shoot up, and it's going to lead to breakdowns
All right, and
on
you,
your system.
you say that this kind of deep clean and tuning up is important that we do every single season.
Yes.
Why should we trust on-time experts to do that, and what exactly does your spring cleanup, what does that include?
That's a great question. The reason you trust on-time experts is because we're the only company that actually cleans the system as part of our maintenance. Every other company will do things like a blower cleaning for you, but they're going to charge you somewhere between $500 and $900
Wow.
to do it. Yeah.
Wow.
And we do that. It's included as part of our maintenance, that service. So we really don't just maintain the system and check all the components. We actually go through and we deep clean the system for you to ensure that it's going to run smoothly, efficiently, and it's not going to have breakdowns.
All right. Well, so point of contrast, you talked about some of your competitors are charging for a service like this. What are the costs if we work with on-time experts?
So normally our maintenance is $199. We offer it to our GMT viewers for $59. That's for first-time viewers. We really just want to get to know new customers. We want to get out there and show you what we can do for you. And as we saw, now's a great time to schedule one. I think summer's going to come early and really need to jump in front of it this year because I think it's going to be a hot one.
And does it also help preserve your system? Because if you have a broken AC, we're talking thousands and thousands of dollars. This also keeps your system itself healthy. Is there anything owners can do to get ready for the North Texas heat when it comes to their current system they have in place?
I mean, first and foremost, book that maintenance. Get it in there, get it as soon as possible. I think some other things that come up is people are really looking at duct cleanings right now. That's when that dirt has made it out of the system and is starting to show up on your vents and make it into your home. Right now, we are offering something for GMT as well. Anybody that books a maintenance and is interested in a duct cleaning, we're going to give them 15% off.
That's a
Again, for
great
just giving
deal.
us a try.
Thank you so much for sharing all of this with us. We really do appreciate it. And we want to encourage you to book your spring AC deep clean and tune up for just $59. That's pretty cheap. Go to ontimeexperts.com or call 469-581-7736 and let them know you saw this on GMT to get the $59 system deep clean and the 15% off duct cleaning. What a deal. Again, that number and website is on your screen now. Okay, spring officially starts tomorrow, and we're helping you get into style with a look at spring denim trends. Plus, it's a good weekend to get dirty in the garden and find out what you can plant now to have a beautiful flower garden this spring. We'll be right back. One more thing, though, before we go to break. Grammy award-winning artist Alessia Cara. Yes, Alessia Cara. She joins us to talk about her newly anticipated jazz album, Love or Lack Thereof. And finally, still ahead on today's show, COVID flipped their lives upside down, so they flipped on an idea and made it into cash. Meet the chefs behind Packin' Bowls. Now, we'll be right back. Well, just like our physical health, maintaining good mental health is vital to our overall well-being. I went to Serenity Mental Health Center to learn how a Dallas patient was able to reclaim his life after undergoing TMS therapy. When it comes to mental health treatments, one size does not fit all. And if you've been struggling with treatments, we've got some good news. Transcranial magnetic stimulation, or TMS, is an option. I am here at Serenity Mental Health Centers, and I'm excited to introduce you to psychiatric nurse practitioner Zara, along with Jack, who is a patient who has benefited from TMS. Welcome to you both. You were able to try TMS. I'm curious about how your life has changed and what you've noticed since doing TMS.
Prior to TMS, I was completely isolated for about 2 years to my room, to my home. I've been in a long-term relationship for 34 years. I moved out, left the state, moved to Dallas from Oklahoma City because I wanted to be left alone. I'm in recovery from drug addiction, and I didn't know how to live with or without.
So then when you started TMS, how did that change your life?
The first 2 weeks, I saw no change. I remember on a Sunday night, I went to bed. I was going to bed, and I went, I'm done. I'm not going tomorrow. I remember waking up about 4 o'clock that morning thinking it's time to get in the shower. I can't wait to get to TMS. I don't know what happened, but it was overnight, something happened that said, you're going to TMS today.
So it completely changed your life, and I imagine the viewers that are listening right now are experiencing hope. For many of them, when they haven't experienced hope for a very long time. So I'm curious, you mentioned your relationship that you had. How has TMS positively impacted your relationship?
The main thing he said was, for about the last 2 years before you moved, I was driving home, and every night I thought, is this going to be the night that I find him dead? From either my addiction or taking my own life. He said, your body was there, but that was it. He said, you were sitting on the sofa, but your spirit, your soul, nothing was there. He said, every night I thought, is tonight going to be the night? He couldn't turn to me when he had a situation. I was always in complete chaos, and I needed him to do everything for me.
And looking at you now, I can see how remarkable the progress has been. You are whole again.
That's a great way. That's a great way to put it. I participate in life today, and that happened because I've tried so many other I've tried medications. I've tried talk therapy only. None of that helped. 2 weeks and 1 day into TMS treatment, I came alive.
And we're so glad that you're here.
Thank you.
We're so glad that you're here.
That's a new thing for me.
Yeah, and Zara, I have to say, I imagine that this is one of several stories that you've heard about people whose lives have been remarkably impacted through TMS. What would you say to people who are watching right now who might want to consider adjusting their current treatment plans and incorporating TMS?
TMS has a 70 to 80 to 90% efficacy as compared to medications that only have a 33% efficacy. There's just more broader recovery as compared to just symptom relief when you're looking at medications. We change a patient's quality of life. They're able to re-engage, they're able to connect socially, and everything is evidence-based and everything is FDA-cleared protocols. We just really care about the patient. The patient is the center of our approach, and it's tailor-made according to each patient.
It's exciting to see what TMS has done, but I'm also really proud of you. Congratulations. Congratulations.
That's something my dad used to always tell me, and when I lost my dad, I didn't get that anymore. So to hear you say that means a lot. Thank you for saying that.
To learn more or to book an appointment, call 817-880-7065 or visit SerenityMentalHealthCenters.com. We'll be right back. You know, when COVID flipped our lives upside down, two hospitality pros turned furlough into fuel. Chefs Sam Kaiser and Mike Youssef are here to talk about how they were able to pivot by filling their bowls with possibilities. Welcome.
Thank you for having us. We're so excited to be here.
I'm glad you're here because so many of us really had some difficulty with COVID, and particularly those in the hospitality industry. It was absolutely devastating. Tell me what the reality was like for you during the pandemic.
So initially it was just a lot of free time.
Yeah.
And in hospitality, you don't get a lot of that. We had, a decade plus years of experience in the hospitality, and you never really had that much time off. So initially it was just free time and enjoying that and kind of figuring out what the next step was going to be. And then it evolved into where we are today.
And so then you consulted with someone that's pretty influential, Mother Nature, to be specific.
It's true.
You guys went camping. I love these kinds of stories because you can be so creative when you're by a campfire, maybe having a couple of beers and talking about possibilities.
Exactly.
Tell me about how that germ of an idea really evolved into your what's next.
Well, during COVID, while we were sitting at home, really having nothing to do, camping was the only thing to do.
Right.
So just sitting around, we spoke about the business and us being out of work for 3 months and not having anything to do. So it was either keep sitting around or find something to do.
Find something to do. Well, let's get cooking. All right,
Sure.
so
Awesome.
let's jump right in. What are we making right now?
We are making one of our bowls, which is the Mediterranean chicken bowl.
Okay.
So it's chicken breast marinated with our house seasoning, which is right here. It's a combination of garlic, onion, oregano.
The seasoning is so key to what you create in these bowls. And I think that there's something about bowls themselves that it's very comforting when you're eating from a bowl. And it's also kind of conducive for sharing with other people. Was that part of the mindset when you came up with packing bowls?
Sure thing. We always wanted to kind of be able to have a group of coworkers come and eat and all be able to get something that they wanted, a whole soccer team or a family of 5. Just come in and choose different things and be able to get what they wanted, whether they're on some sort of dietary restriction or just thinking about different things like gluten-free, keto-friendly, all this kind of stuff that people are focused on now. And so we think that we've been able to, have a condensed menu, something that we can still focus on the things that we're good at, but also make sure that everybody can be accommodated.
All right, so while this is cooking, let's also talk about the other bowls that you have here
Absolutely.
too, because the variety is pretty key.
Sure.
You talk about having simple ingredients, but at the same time, lots of elevated choices that can be curated to your specific needs. What are we looking at? Tell me about the first bowl over here.
So this is our reefer bowl, which is shrimp, pico de gallo, pineapples, guacamole, black beans, and a cilantro dressing. This one here is our dank steak bowl. It's New York strip.
Called dank steak bowl?
Dank steak.
Oh, dank steak.
Yep.
Okay.
There we go.
That looks delicious.
So it's got the blue cheese, jalapenos, tomatoes, bacon, fried onions, and it comes with our special packing bowl sauce, which is a play on sriracha ranch.
Yum.
And then the last one here is our smoke in a bowl, which is brisket, cheddar, coleslaw, sweet potatoes, corn, pickled onion. So very Texas-esque with a smoky lemon ranch.
I think that's fantastic that you were able to come up with these different types of ideas. What's been the reaction from your customers? What are they saying?
I mean, so far it's been great. We were a ghost kitchen to start, and we had been open since 2021. We were able to find a brick and mortar that was very close by to that, so we were confident that our kind of guest base that we've grown would follow us, and that's what we've seen so far. We've seen overwhelmingly positive reaction.
I think that is fantastic. I can't wait to dive in. We only have about a minute left, so tell us what's next. How are you
so
going
we're
to make
making our
this bowl?
cucumber salad
Okay.
real quick. So just cucumbers, tomatoes.
All right, do you need any help?
No,
Most
that's
people
it.
don't want my help in the kitchen. I'm going to be completely honest with you, but I'm happy to do
We
whatever.
will
I have
build
a
it.
scoop. Okay.
I'll tell you what, let me put the rice in here and then
Okay.
I'll get you on scooping.
All right, and then also, I'm curious about your location, where people can find you, and also, what's kind of your next? What are you thinking? How are you planning on growing?
Sure, so we're in the Sylvan 30 Shopping Center.
I know exactly where that is.
Yeah,
Very
right off-
convenient, right off of 30.
Perfect, yes. And we've been there since October. We're on the corner, one of the corner stores, right across from 7-Eleven. And so next for us, honestly, we just want to keep feeding the Metroplex, kind of continue to get our name out there and make sure people are continuing to pack bowls every day. That's our motto.
I think that's so good. So, all right, so believe it or not, we are out of town. I'm going to have you kind of finish this up. And the great news is that we can come back and I can taste some flavors. But before we go, real quick, what else are you going to be adding to this bowl?
All right, so everything on here is going to be added to this bowl, including the cucumber salad.
Yummy.
And then we're going to go with a little bit of feta cheese.
Okay, I'm going to sprinkle a little of that on there.
And then some of the
chickpeas. Now, are these like roasted chickpeas?
They are fried chickpeas, so they're crispy and seasoned with our house seasoning as well.
Okay, and we're going to finish this up when we come back, so stay tuned. We will be right back. What are these?
Wardrobe for our hosts is sponsored by Dillard's at North Park Center.
Madness is bringing the excitement to North Texas in a big way. The NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship regional rounds are headed to Fort Worth, giving fans a chance to see some of the top teams in the country compete for a spot in the Final Four. So from March 27th through the 30th, fans can expect high-energy matchups, standout players, and unforgettable moments all right here in Fort Worth. It's also a major moment for Fort Worth, showcasing the city as a host and giving local fans the opportunity to be a part of March Madness. You know I love me some Fort Worth. To learn more, you can visit dickiesarena.com/events. So, but wait. We got some good news. We got some free tickets to give out. The 8th and 9th callers will win a 4-pack of tickets to catch the games. To win, just call 214-977-6008 or 888-446-8880. Good luck. Ooh, look what Mama's gonna get. She's getting a bowl of goodness, and it has been a bowl of goodness being with you today. We'd love to get your feedback. You can always catch us on our Instagram, which is WFAA-GMT, at WFAA-GMT. You can also check out mine at at Paige McCoy Smith, and you can catch the entire show that you've missed by checking us out on our streaming platforms. And you can also watch the show at 1 o'clock today on our sister station, Channel 29. In the meantime, I hope you have a great Thursday, and good morning, Texas.